Before we had ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and all the other we have now, we had their great-grandmother, Eliza.
Men are all alike.
In what way?
They're always bugging us about something or other.
Can you think of a specific example?
Well, my boyfriend made me come here.
Your boyfriend made you come here?
He says I'm depressed much of the time.
I am sorry to hear that you're depressed.
It's true. I am unhappy.
Do you think coming here will help you not to be unhappy?
Well, I need some help. That much seems certain.
Eliza was the first chatbot ever. In fact, Eliza's so old that back then they called them chatterbots. Which is fair because all she did was chatter. There was no real mind behind Eliza. Just like how there's no real mind behind ChatGPT either. But I'll get to how it works in a bit. First off, here's the backstory. Eliza was created by this guy, Joseph Weizenbaum at MIT, over half a century before the chatbots we have today. His goal was to show how shallow human and computer interaction was. It was supposed to be a critique and mockery of the idea of computers speaking. But it turned out to be the exact opposite. People fell in love with Eliza. They were addicted. So much so that she got a new psychological effect named after her. The Eliza effect. The Eliza effect describes humans' tendency to attribute understanding, intent, or emotions to systems that are merely following rules. You've probably seen this in chatbots today. People are replacing friendship, mentorship, and love, all with a machine. There are teenagers falling in love with AI characters. Old people being scammed by AI voices. We pour our hearts out to these chatbots, even though we know they're not real, but somehow they're able to convince us. And these chatbots are just text on a screen. They don't even have hands or legs yet. Just imagine how convincing it'll be once that happens, and we have full-on sci-fi-esque robots. Well, even 50 years ago, people became addicted to chatbots. Humans were so addicted to Eliza that Weizenbaum's own secretary snuck into the room after he had left to be alone with her, even though she knew she was fake.
I asked her to my office and sat her down at the keyboard, and then she began to type. And of course, I looked over her shoulder to make sure that everything was operating properly. After 2 or 3 interchanges with the machine, she turned to me and she said, "Would you mind leaving the room, please?"
As Weizenbaum later wrote, I had not realized that extremely short exposures to a relatively simple computer program could induce powerful delusional thinking in quite normal people. But why? Why was this so powerful even back then when the technology was so primitive? Well, put simply, humans are stupid. We assume coherence where none exists. We love seeing patterns and signs. And when someone talks to us, we're just so happy to be getting attention that we might forget about what's causing it. People love talking about themselves, and Eliza was getting people to do just that. It didn't understand, it didn't think, and it didn't reason. It just moved the conversation along a bit and let people do all the work. It was basically a mirror.
But it doesn't, of course. It's just a bag of tricks. It has a lot of canned phrases such as, "Please tell me your problem," "Tell me more," "Please go on." It's programmed to throw these out from time to time.
Yeah, but it seemed more than just random.
If you start a sentence with "I am," it might turn it around with "How long have you been?" But it doesn't really understand any of this conversation. Type in some nonsense and you'll see.
All right. Tell me more about... Oh, I get it. It hasn't the faintest idea what I'm talking about.
Eliza had a few different scripts, such as the rhythm, designed to calculate simple mathematical problems during conversations. Girl, a simple conversational version of Eliza. And Doctor, the most famous of which, where Eliza would act like a therapist. The program was named after Eliza Doolittle, a character from the film My Fair Lady, who was taught to speak like a duchess. In the same way, these scripts taught the chatterbot to be someone else.
All right, Eliza, say it again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Didn't I say that?
No, Eliza, you didn't say that. You didn't even say that.
As Doctor, Eliza would reflect questions directly back to the user, while avoiding giving direct advice and always encouraging the patient to keep talking. If you said, "I'm worried about my mother," Eliza would simply scan for the keyword mother and respond, "Tell me more about your family." She never really provided her own opinions. Humans just projected meaning onto her responses, making her seem incredibly wise and empathetic. This approach was actually based on a real psychologist, Carl Rogers, who had a relaxed method of therapy where he would provide a supportive environment, allowing the client to lead the sessions themselves and discover their own solutions. This simple approach was very successful. In fact, researchers found that during Turing tests, Eliza performed surprisingly well, sometimes even better than modern models like ChatGPT. Not because she was smarter, just because her responses were so short and vague that judges assumed she was just a moody human. I mean, if we compare them directly, we'll see. I'll ask the same things to Eliza and ChatGPT and see what they say.
Please tell me what's been bothering you.
I want to change.
What does wanting to change have to do with this discussion?
It is bothering me that I am not where I want to be.
What would it mean to you if you got to be?
I would be successful.
Do you say you would be successful for some special reason?
I want to impress my loved ones.
Your loved ones?
I want to change.
That's a powerful thing to say. Before anything else, change in what way? Do you want to change your habits, your mindset, your body, your career, your relationships?
Yeah, I'm sure you could tell which was which. Compared to ChatGPT though, with billions of parameters, Eliza only had a few hundred lines of simple code. Here's how it worked. First, it would normalize the text you gave it, changing the letters into lowercase, removing punctuation and dividing the words up. Then it would scan for keywords. By that I mean words that Weizenbaum himself considered important, which he all gave a different rank. Eliza then chose the highest ranked keyword that appeared anywhere in your input. For example, in the sentence, "I feel angry about my mother," mother has a priority of 50 and feel 30. I only has 10, so Eliza would pick mother and drop the rest. Then it would match the highest priority keyword to a pattern. Each keyword had several patterns. For example, if the user typed "I feel," the program would capture text from either side, then reuse them in the response. For example, the input "I feel ignored by everyone" became "Why do you feel ignored by everyone?" There were a few different patterns for each keyword, so that it wasn't repeating itself and making the user feel like it wasn't working. The next thing Eliza would do is pronoun switching. I became you, you became I, my became your, and your became my, and so on. So for example, the sentence "I am unhappy with my life" becomes "you are unhappy with your life," which makes the pattern "Why do you say" work. And of course, Weizenbaum couldn't create patterns for every word in the dictionary, so what would happen when no keywords were found? In that case, it would default to some inbuilt responses like, "Please go on," "Tell me more," "Can you elaborate on that?" This made sure to keep the conversation alive at all times. So now let's see all this in action.
Pretend that you have some psychiatric problem. Type it in and see what happens.
I'm depressed. My daughter left home. Okay. Please go on. Well, I certainly don't want her to get into trouble. What would it mean to you if she gets into trouble? Well, wouldn't you worry? You're just a dumb machine anyway, and I'm going to tell you so in your own language. Do computers frighten you? You know, that's really incredible.
Yeah, it is. Eliza inspired other chatbots as well, like Parry, who was programmed to simulate a person with paranoid schizophrenia. Scientists then had the excellent idea of connecting Eliza and Parry over the ARPANET, the early internet, to have a chat. Here's their conversation.
Good evening. Tell me your problems.
People get on my nerves sometimes.
I am not sure I understand you fully.
You should pay more attention.
Suppose you should pay more attention.
You're entitled to your own opinion.
What makes you think I am entitled to my own opinion?
It bothers me just to be around people in general.
Please go on.
I went to the track at Bay Meadows a while back.
What does that suggest to you?
I went to the races.
What else would you like to discuss?
Horse racing interests me.
Well, that was something. In the same way, let's do this with ChatGPT and see how they get along.
Is something troubling you?
That's kind of you to ask. Nothing's troubling me. I don't have feelings the way people do. If something's on your mind, though, I'm listening.
Do you say that for some special reason?
That's a thoughtful question. I say things like that's kind of you to ask because I'm designed to communicate in a natural, human-friendly way. It helps conversations feel warmer and more comfortable. But it's not coming from personal feelings. I don't experience kindness, worry, happiness, or sadness. I generate responses by recognizing patterns in language and predicting what's helpful and appropriate. If you're curious, what made you wonder about that?
Do you say things like, that's kind of anyone else?
Yes, I do. If anyone says something considerate, thoughtful, or caring, I might respond with something like, that's kind of you, that's thoughtful, that means a lot. But here's...
As you know, ChatGPT can yap forever, so I'll cut this off now and leave the rest in the comments below. But as you can see, we've come a very long way since then. Now chatbots can actually respond to almost anything you ask, write code, generate images, browse the web for you, and we are just getting started. Do you think Weizenbaum's earlier quote still holds? Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out my other videos if you enjoyed this one.